Hey, thanks for introducing the pricing conversation, Gino. Gino was absolutely correct in saying that when we cause home sellers to offer up their pricing aspirations, oftentimes they only do so reluctantly. Therefore, I believe we have even a greater moral obligation to protect them in their feelings and show complete respect in how we pursue pricing tip number 11, that being the personal needs approach to pricing. After asking, how did you determine that price? Let's say that the homeowner responds with, well, if we don't get $500,000 for the sale of our home, we can't move to Florida. This type of response creates a challenge for all of us. Now, if we were trial attorneys, we could say, hey, Joe, do you actually think a buy before they make an offer is going to say, hey, how much do the homeowners need to move to Florida? We want to make sure that our offer covers that. Now, of course, we cannot, nor should we ever do that, yet we still have to be able to introduce reality. Therefore, what I have developed is the following response. Folks, thank you for sharing that with me about the proceeds you will need to move. That's one classic approach to pricing. We call it the personal needs approach to pricing. The personal needs approach to pricing, however, is one of the methods that we're really not able to use. Gino, why don't you take it from here?
Pricing tip number 12 is that not only do we have to educate home sellers about what Allan has coined as the personal approach method to pricing, but we also have to inform them that there are other methods that are not reliable either. Therefore, I also tell home sellers the following. We also cannot price homes based on square footage alone. This is because there is a significant discrepancy in the square footage based pricing. In fact, other than new construction or new condos or apartments in the same building, price based upon square footage in many cases is reckless. Then I also want to point out that we can also not recommend pricing based upon replacement cost, as there are numerous properties in town that would cost more than double to replace than what we have to sell them for. I further go on to explain that we cannot base pricing on inflation, as there's always little or no correlation. I end by saying the method which we believe is the most reliable is when we price property based upon buyer behavior in today's market. Keyword, today's market. Specifically, the focus needs to be on what buyers are willing to pay for homes that they are evaluating at the same time they are evaluating your home. But please remember that all homes are different, which is why we need to study buyer behavior.
What great language. Buyer behavior in today's market and a personal approach method to pricing. As Gino said in the opening, this video content does not represent a course or a class. It's instead just some very powerful ideas I wanted to capture while Gino, Mr. Do, and Mr. Say, Allan, were both in the building. In our last segment coming up, I've asked both Gino and Allan to share some final thoughts on pricing.